Hey MAIP! My name is Julianna and I'm a fourth-year Entertainment and Media Studies major and New Media Certificate at the University of Georgia. Welcome to my variety interview where I guess the lines from my favorite films that have defined my creative marketing aspirations. Let's get to it! I never yielded, and as you can see, I am not dead. In 2018, I was about in the 8th grade and we had moved from Georgia, my home, where all my family's from, the only place I've ever known, to Washington State. And no one looked like me. I went into that movie theater and I saw a movie theater of people so diverse that were united to watch this black character. And when they danced across the screen and you just see all that African culture and heritage, it made me stand up with my chest just a little bit higher. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my chest. It reminded me that I'm not the only one who sees how amazing black culture is. I remember thinking that whatever I do in my career, if I just make one minority in any category, racial, sexual preference, religious, whatever it may be, have that weight lifted because of an ad that drew them in to watch media that could change their lives, then that's really all I can ask for. It hides not behind complexity, but behind mind-numbing obvious clarity. And what I love about this film is that feeling of when all the puzzle pieces start to come into place. Someone will ask a question that leads them to be suspicious, followed by another and another. And it's like suddenly the pieces click and it comes into place. And I found that in my life with every student project where I collaborate is the more diverse that room, the better those puzzle pieces can turn. And honestly, the faster they can do that. I carried this over into other projects, like in my entertainment and media studies class where we were tasked with creating a reboot of a series. The importance of collaborating in that class to ensure that we didn't fall into old tropes of characters, that we created new identities and just breathe life back into these characters and adding in representation and consulting with others when we didn't know. And eventually the more we shared and essentially the more we cared, that's the only time where it made sense. Be a fountain, not a drain. The core message of just being a light and giving onto others and not draining from it is what I honestly want to take into the industry. It's something that I took from that moment and implemented immediately. I used my graphic design skills to redesign posters for a cherished event that we put on called Pretty in Pink. By revamping those engagements and those flyers and those posters, we saw a 50% engagement increase in our Instagram. I even took the initiative and sent a custom email knowing nothing about braids or audience segmentation, but just doing it out of the love I have for others. And I think that's the perfect film to end on and a perfect film to really sum me up, that no matter where I end up in my creative marketing or advertising journey, I just want to make sure that I'm always being a vessel for other people's stories to be told as I tell my own. Thank you so much for your consideration and I hope to hear back from you. Bye!